Hey guys, it's Robert from East Coast Sawing Design. A little overdue, but I want to do a shop tour of the new shop. Been about a year and a half since I did the tour of the old bus shop, um, which is right there. And we're standing in front of the new shop. The video is quite well documented of the build series. It doesn't cover everything in minute detail, but it does cover a lot of it. For reference, for anybody who wants to know, the shop is 10 feet outside by 18 feet outside long. It's got a single pitch roof. It's seven feet on the outside with this wall, and this wall here is 9.5 feet wide, or 9.5 feet tall. You can see it's butted right up against my wood barn on this side, and not gonna be able to see it really well, but it's butted right up against the old bus shop on this side. So we're gonna change camera angles here, and we're gonna do a quick walkthrough of the shop and show you how I got it laid out since getting all the tools in here. All right, guys, so we're just outside the shop here. You can see what I see when I walk up to it every day. As mentioned in the build video, that's a 36-inch man door. That's a 2-foot swinging door jamb. It stays shut 99% of the time. It's nice when I want to open the shop really up and get some airflow in it, get some light if I'm working big projects that I need the extra room. So we'll open the doors up. I think I mentioned it in the original build video that the man door is on self-closing hinges. So just a little turnbuckle up there for opening the door. And you go from 36 inches to a full 5 feet, which was really handy for getting the tools in and out of the shop. So we'll walk back outside. So see, it makes for a really nice big wide open doorway. So we'll go left to right, which is what I did in the old shop. So right here we have my Ryobi 1632 thickness sander on a flip top cart with my DW735. I have videos talking about them more in detail. And behind the sander, the thickness planer and sander there on a mobile cart, is kind of where I got my scrap wood storage right now. This is my Matthias Wendell 14-inch shop-built bandsaw. Never got around to putting guards on it after 2 years. Still works amazingly well. I had it on casters when I first put it in the shop, and I probably showed that in the build videos. I've since put those casters on the thickness sander because I moved that around way more. So the star of the show, front and center, is the Ridgid TS 3650 table saw. It's a 10-inch table saw, horse and a half, full cast iron top. The shop's not conditioned, so the top gets a little rusty. I gotta clean it up every once in a while. So over here I got my 12 by 37 Busy Bee wood lathe. It's got a scroll chuck on it right now. There's my lathe chisels, $20 from Busy Bee Tools. They're cheap, but they work. There's my 8-inch JobMate drill press, the most recent acquisition for this shop. It was purchased at a flea market for 30 bucks. Needed a bit of repair work. Underneath is a bit of storage, some junk under there. There's 2 shop vacs I've recovered and been working on. My pipe clamps are just stored in the corner for now. And this is my 16-inch Delta scroll saw. I got that just before I started building the shop. The fan I put in today because where I was working in here, right behind it is my 4x36 belt sander. Some of the lumber storage kind of ended up on this shelf. There's my Ridgid oscillating edge belt spindle sander. It's fried. There's a little relay switch inside that needs to be replaced. Above that is the lumber storage. It's just a 7-foot or 8-foot board of 1-inch by 12-inch wide pine on custom brackets. It's not bolted on or anything. It's just sitting there by gravity. I have a video detailing milling up all this lumber here. It's mixed maple, birch, chestnut, some bird's eye maple. There's my dado stack. Just above the dado stack is the sander table for the lathe. You can convert it to a 12-inch disc sander. So, and underneath the bench, we got, there's some of my table saw accessories. That's my box joint jig that came with the table saw. That's my sled. That's the fence for the miter saw. That's the fence for the miter gauge. On this side is all the fuel tanks for the, for my little heater. There's the bases for a couple shop vacs I've been working on. And then here's my tool wall. This was documented in one of the first videos of actually being moved in here. It's just leftover 7/16 OSB from doing the floor. Of course, my Chinese diesel heater's right here. Thing works amazing. It works way better in this shop, and I've got videos about that. Just recently hung up the stool on the wall to get up off the floor, because wall storage is easier than floor storage. There's my Ridgid 16-gallon 5-horsepower shop vac. That was my gift to me, from me, when I first moved into this space. There's some of my hand tool storage and power tools. I'm a Ridgid lover, if you haven't guessed. There's my Mastercraft clone of a Delta 6-inch jointer. It's been a bit of a workhorse in this shop. I'm quite pleased with that. There's my leaf blower I use for cleaning the shop out. My aprons. That's a roller stand I got when I bought the lathe. So that was a good purchase. It's hung up on the wall now. So you can see the space. It works pretty good. So outlet wise, I've got that one right there, and there's one behind the lathe. They're on a 20 amp circuit running off. Basically, it's the same amount of power coming in, because the shop is fed off a 20 amp circuit from my father's car garage. We have an outdoor circuit that we use for splitting wood, and I've tied off on that. So those two outlets run full power, basically full power. They are on a separate breaker in this shop. Then the back wall plugs, so those two pairs there, they run the sanders, the small gear, anything that doesn't require high amperage. And same with this plug right here. So this one and those two there all run off a 15 amp breaker coming off that main feed. There's a little breaker box right there. It was more so I could isolate the circuits than actually required to use them. And then that plug right there below the diesel heater is run off the light circuits. So the lights come in from Dad's car garage on the separate phase that the power comes in on, because Dad's car garage has 240 volts. I've mentioned this in other videos, but just to recap here. So that's a dedicated 15 amp from the car garage. I wouldn't put anything more than about 10 amps on it because of the length of cord to get it here. But where the shop has LED lighting, I didn't need a ton of amperage in the shop. So just got around to cleaning it up this today and yesterday. So the shop's actually really clean right now. It was very claustrophobic to work in here before I cleaned it, because it was once a little mess happens, you can't get everything back where it belongs. So while this is very wide open all of a sudden, 2 days ago it wasn't. So hope you enjoyed the tour, everybody. Might give you some ideas for your own shop. Eventually, I am going to clad the walls and the ceiling with 3/4 pine boards, mixed pine and poplar. And then there's eventually going to be a shelf running basically from the top of the tool wall right across, and that's going to be all my like lumber storage stuff that I'm going to be working with at the time. Whereas right now, that's it. That's my lumber storage. So, hope you liked the video, guys. Comment, subscribe. Give me a shout out if you have any questions. Thanks, bye.